And let's be frank, Trudeau, he's not a bad-looking guy. If I had to kiss somebody with Corona Chan, it would be Trudeau.
All right, folks, how we all doing? How we all doing on this Sunday evening? On our, for many, a wonderful 3-day weekend, myself included, thankfully. Working too damn much overtime. We got Davis Serini, the Supreme Sigma, in the chat. How you doing there, Davis? Somebody says, exceptionally good taste in game music today, back off. That is the soundtrack to Rocket Knight Adventures for the Sega Genesis. One of the absolute best games in the Genesis library, by the way. If you have a Sega Genesis and you don't have Rocket Knight Adventures, you're wrong. And you should fix that. Alright. That's right, Fake Davis. Trudeau is indeed very dreamy. I gotta tell you, folks, I'm losing my shit with this. I'm losing my cool with all this Karenocracy that we live in. You know, I mentioned last weekend that I told the person at Little Caesars to suck my balls and left when they insisted that my mask cover my nose. Now, look, I'll wear the stupid bandana or mask in public, and I'll do it half-ass. Because I can't fucking breathe when it's over my face. I can't fucking breathe properly. I can't stand it. So I'll wear it. I'll go through the motion, you know, so that, you know, like, I generally don't like being mean to retail or restaurant people because I've worked those jobs before. I know they're miserable. All right, so I just kind of fake it that I'm going along with it so that, you know, you don't feel like you're going to get in trouble for not saying something, that kind of thing. I don't want to put you in a bad position, whatever. That's generally how I look at it. So I'm not going to be brazen about it just to not put you in a bad position. But yeah, it's on my face sloppy, you know, it's usually on my fucking chin or something. Or the bandana's just around my neck, whatever. But, you know, you get the Karens once in a while that want to make a stink, and I just got no patience for it anymore. Like, at this rate, I'm going to get thrown out of a place. Argent says I still have the cartridge for Rocket Knight Adventure. I have a bunch of old Genesis cartridges, but then again, I'm a big nerd that collects them, so. Somebody says I feel the same way at my day job. I don't give a lot of shit at the day job. I wear the bandana around my neck. Nobody says anything. If I go to the bathroom, I have to go through a department I know is run by a Karen, so I'll put it over my face on the way to and from the bathroom. That's it. The rest of the day, it's around my neck. Again, I'm sort of faking it, you know, so that nobody else gets in trouble on my behalf. But like today, I'm going into the grocery store. Just doing tacos today. By the way, I do wonderful tacos. The key to great tacos, by the way, is you want to use a soft and a hard shell. Both of them together. That way you get the crunchiness of the hard shell, but you get the structural integrity of the soft shell. I also like to put a little bit of sour cream and hot sauce in between the two shells. That's the key to a great taco right there. But I'm walking into the grocery store, and, you know, as I walk in, you know, there's a Karen there that's, you know, handing out cards or something because you can't just grab your own card anymore. And you know, I hear, you know, sir, you need to put your mask up all the way. And I just no fucking patience for it anymore. I don't even turn around. I hold my hand up facing her with a middle finger raised as I'm walking away. And I hear her say, like, really? Yes, really, bitch. You're wrong for going along with this. I want you to understand this is a difference of opinion. It's nothing. If you're going along with this, if you're helping to push this bullshit forward, if you're helping to perpetuate this nonsense, if you're going along with it any more than you just feel like you have to stay out of trouble, if you're actively going along with it, you're fucking wrong. All right? You're wrong. And you should be ashamed of yourself. What you deserve is not a middle finger. What you deserve is a slap across the face. Not even a punch. Like, you don't even deserve that dignity. You deserve a slap. A backhanded slap across the face. Not even with a hand. You know what? Make it like, you know, you pull out the white glove like they used to do when they're challenging you to a duel. That's what you fucking deserve. If you're going along with this horse shit. I'm not going to humor the Karens anymore, and I'm gonna end up getting in fucking trouble for it. I am going to end up thrown out of a place. Now I doubt it, because I just go about my business and move on. The fuck they gonna do? They're gonna call the cops. By the time the cops are done, I will have grabbed the item I need, self checkout, and been out the door. But dare I say it, is not the problem that those of us that do have a soul, those of us that do have a sense of, you know, want to preserve the freedom of our country, the prosperity of our country, those of us that have a spine, a brain, a backbone, whatever, however you want to put it, I would posit that not enough of us are too many of us are like, well, I don't want to raise a fuss, put your mask back up. No. Enough of that. These Karens need to be treated with nothing but scorn and contempt. Fuck this social distancing bullshit. Fuck this mask bullshit. This is all obviously overblown bullshit that should have come to an end a long time ago. Somebody in the chat says Beckloff is low-key asking for money to be super chatted so he can afford bail. Well, I mean, I'm always asking for money to be super chatted, preferably Streamlabs, since, you know, I'm not getting enough on YouTube. It'll be in YouTube for a long time if you send it on YouTube. Feel free to send it via YouTube super chat. Just know it's going to be a very long time before I see it. So Streamlabs is preferable, but whatever you want to do. But no, I don't got any patience for it anymore. Like, I just don't. I'm not wearing a mask over my nose and mouth in public. I'm not doing it. That isn't benefit. It doesn't benefit anybody. Okay? It doesn't prevent me from getting sick. It doesn't prevent anybody else from getting sick. It doesn't do jack shit. Especially since most people aren't even wearing actual medical masks. They're wearing fucking bandanas. There's people walking around with masks made of, like, beads. Or they knitted it like it's like grandma knitting a sweater. That obviously doesn't do anything. But you're allowed to do it because it's not about the virus. It's about making you obedient. Well, I'm sorry, but unless you're a sexy redhead in you know, knee-high fucking leather boots, I don't feel like being very obedient to you. I'm a bit of a contrarian. I'm a bit of an asshole. There's just that streak in me where, fuck you. Richard Bechtel says the CBS, the only store in walking distance, isn't going along with it at all because their employees wearing masks. Isn't going along with it at all beyond their employees wearing masks because the law says so. Yeah, there's some places around here. I mean, the one gas station that's like right by my house, I could literally walk to it if I wasn't a lazy fuck. I mean, they'll wear masks in there, but barely. It's usually not even covering their nose. And I go in there all the time without masks. Nobody says a fucking thing. They don't care. You know. Yeah, fuck all this. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. And anyone that's enforcing this, you should be an hero. It's fucking shameful. So yes, Karen, really, I raise my middle finger to salute you before I raise my mask up over my face. The fuck you gonna do about it? Enough is enough. Enough's enough with it. All right, folks. Well, it's a Sunday night. I feel like BSing. I feel like dicking around. So, do we want to watch some Rooney? You know, the clip channel. It's been all over the place. Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I got the I got the Shanghai shivers because I wasn't wearing a mask. Oh, what do we got? What do we got? We got a bunch of clips. We got a few full Twitch streams. It's funny. He was kissing ContraPoint's ass in the one stream, and then somebody on Discord sent me a stream. I guess our video recently ContraPoints did. I'm not very familiar with ContraPoints because I have taste, but apparently ContraPoints actually in a recent video was making fun of Davis Arini. Everyone that Davis kisses up to ultimately laughs at him. It's pretty amusing. Arjun says, "Yeah, sounds like you have it's worse with Karens around your area." It's not that bad, in all fairness. Most places I go, I don't have to deal with it. But every once in a while, it pops up, and I don't have a lick of fucking patience for it. You know, and on one regard, it's like I don't want to snap at some kid that's just that's just doing his job, but a lot of people done a lot of terrible things. They always say the Nazis were just doing their job. I don't even want to. You know what? The communists were just doing their job. The communist police or whatever the hell was going on in Russia, that come to take you to the gulag, they were just doing their job. Somebody says, are the Amish going along with this shit? No, the Amish, well, in all fairness, the Amish never go along with any laws. The Amish are above the law, for better or worse. Davis Arini, the Supreme Sigma, says conspiracy or incompetency is the worst one. But yeah, fuck this. I'm just doing my job shit. Let's see. What do we want to watch? Which one do we want? I want to watch this clip on how Protestantism created porn. Let's see.
And yeah, you're bang on. So this emphasis on a couple of different things. Let's not dig too deeply into the theology. I don't want to bash Protestants right now, but so there's this emphasis on industriousness and the very much a physical, not a spiritual sort of Christianity, not a mystical sort of Christianity, but a very, very physical Christianity. So hard work, Protestant work ethic, etc.
Okay, a couple things immediately wrong with it. Yes, the Protestants actually have a work ethic. That's why all the countries in the New World that the Protestants founded are, first world, and in the case of the United States, superpowers. And that's why all the countries in the New World that the Catholics founded are second world at best. That's the big reason there. But it's physical. You're the ones that need the candles and the pretty buildings and all the stupid artificial outward trappings. And sneer at the non-denominational Protestant church that just has a simple pulpit in a little storefront. So I don't want to hear it about, we're the ones that are superficial. We're the ones that are obsessed with the physical.
Well, this creates a natural antithesis, which is the get-rich-quick scheme, right? And if you're a smart...
Is Davis Arini seriously going to lecture people on the get-rich-quick scheme? This man... It's not even fair to say no self-awareness. If self-awareness was if you could quantify it with a hard and fast number, his would be a negative number. He has anti-self-awareness. He has the opposite of self-awareness. It's a negative number, and it would be a very big negative number. Or would you consider it a low negative number? But you know what I mean. A lot of digits in that number. Davis Arini's whole life has been one get-rich-quick scheme after another. The man's never worked. The man's never held... As far as I know, the man's never held down an actual job for more than a year. Motherfucker's 40. And never held down an actual job for more than a year. And everything with him, it's the Free Folk, it's the Anita Sarkeesian documentary. It's, this latest thing that fell through with a buddy of his that he was bragging about. It's always the get-rich-quick scheme with him. And he has the balls, the chrome-plated balls, to be lecturing us Protestants on the get-rich-quick scheme now. Good Lord, we're not a minute into this, and I already had to pause twice to dissect it. I can't get through a whole one of his streams anymore. We'd be here all night. We'd be here till... I got to be at work on Tuesday, so I don't have time to go through a whole one of his streams.
Get-rich-quick guy, you're going to pretend that you have the Protestant work ethic, but really you're just the salesman that's, getting them to trade $1 of rice.
But that's you! That's what you do! Or try to do.
Rice for 50 cents potatoes. Whatever. You're the capitalist. You're the scam artist. You're the... America loves a con man, doesn't it? As long as the con man pretends that he's also a Protestant work ethic. Because the Protestant work ethic, there's a lot of things that aren't provided for there. The overemphasis on the material, the denial of the mystical, creates this opportunity.
What the Protestant work ethic creates, Davis, is the greatest country the world had ever seen. A country that you would suck a dick to come back to and live in again, although really you'd suck a dick for the taste of it. But, it's a phrase. It created a country that put a fucking flag on the moon. It created the most prosperous and free country that has ever graced God's green earth. That's what the Protestant work ethic created.
I heard this joke once about the Protestant that he thought he was a really good guy because he didn't do the kinky sex with his wife because that would disrespect her. So he did it with the prostitute. The Protestant theology there, it is so physically based that it even winds up dictating your sex life.
Oh boy. The amount of times I've sat here on here and argued with trad Catholics who, in their heart of heart, believe that sex is evil and is only for procreation and should never, even within the confines of a marriage, be done solely for the fun of it. Solely for a husband and wife to bond. The amount of times Davis Arini himself has railed against sterile sex, non-reproductive sex, which, given his proclivities, is very amusing. But it's the Protestants that want to micromanage your sex life? Now, don't get me wrong. There's certainly a lot of Puritan bullshit within Protestantism. I even hate to use the term because it's defining ourselves by these idiots. But within biblical, within the sects of Christianity that give a shit what the Bible says, there is certainly a lot of preoccupation with sex. And I've said on here numerous times that the hedonist isn't as obsessed with sex as the Puritan. I've railed against that Puritan ethic numerous times on here. But for the trad Catholics, or the wannabe trad Catholic over here to rail against it, is fucking rich.
Thus, market for pornography. Well, as long as the girls are getting paid and it's all consensual, like, what a Protestant thing to say.
Are you fucking kidding me? There's no conservative Protestant that defends, except maybe me on the grounds of free speech, that defends porn. Rolling back the porn industry or destroying the porn industry was one of the central fucking goals of the religious right. Basically, only abortion topped it. Hey, where does he get this nonsense?
What a work ethic thing to say. Right, so that it opens up this opportunity for an antithesis, which creates the robber barons, which creates the commodification of culture, the Disney 200-year patent on things.
It's a copyright, not a patent. And I actually think that, if a corporation has kept a character relevant for all this time, I don't see any reason, just because an arbitrary amount of time has passed, that they should lose the rights to it. What a Catholic thing to say. Railing against IP is a very Catholic thing, because railing against property is a very Catholic thing.
Which leads to the present synthesis that we're getting, which is really manifest, I think, in the radical left. Where you've got the radical left, it rejects the hard work ethic as just soul-crushing, which it is.
Yes, Davis, I know you hate hard work. You know what? I've been working 50, 60 hours weeks here this past few weeks, and it is very tiring. And I certainly wouldn't want to do it for months and months and years. But hard work is rewarding. Hard work is good for you. Like, yeah, I don't necessarily like it. Nobody likes it. But it's good for you. Honestly, if I won the lottery, if I won the Powerball, if I win the Powerball tonight, not very likely, but it's a distinct possibility. I did actually buy a ticket this weekend. I think the drawing's tonight. If I win the Powerball, there's a lot of things I'm going to do. As soon as we're allowed, I intend to travel again. But I'm still going to work. Maybe I'm not going to work 50, 60-hour weeks, that's for sure. Maybe I'll work at this. Maybe I'll make this truly professional. Or, I don't know, maybe I'll fucking do the dishes at a restaurant for, 20, 30 hours a week just to have a job. Because not having a job sucks. Not having a job is the only thing worse than having a job, as I like to say. Work is good for you, all right? The neat life is soul crushing. Look, that's why spoonies end up the way they are. That's what's soul crushing. Work is not soul crushing. But again, Davis, has barely worked a day in his life. Has not held down a job for more than a year. This is a grown-ass fucking man, almost 40, and has not held down a job for more than a year. Can't hold down a job for more than a year because he thinks he's above work.
And they reject the corporate commodification of pornography and crystal healing, and so that becomes the new synthesis of the two. So yeah, you can really see a Hegelian dialectic at work with all of this.
Real quick in the chat, somebody says the only problem with copyright law is that it's abused by companies to get rid of criticism. Oh, first of all, the law as it stands is actually pretty good. The problem is, because I can play clips of this or that show or whatever, and it falls under fair use. We have fair use laws. The problem is that something like YouTube doesn't enforce fair use. That you're treated as guilty till proven innocent with a copyright claim. That's part of the problem with like the online stuff and all. But there is fair use and all. Like I don't have to, for things like parody, for criticism, for newsworthy stuff, what have you. I don't have to ask fucking permission. Legally speaking, I could play a clip of what's something music. Music is something that gets you popped like auto-fucking-matically. All right. But I can play clips. I can play I don't know what the fuck's popular now. I'm becoming such an old man. I hang out on the 90s station way too fucking much. I don't know, Billie Eilish, that Bad Guy song. I like that song. It's a fun song. I heard it at the end of Brightburn when I saw that, I guess, a year ago now. Good song. I could play bits of that, the video, the song, and analyze it and talk about it and say why I think it's a good song. And that's completely fucking legal. If I were to go to court, whatever record company has the rights to that song would not have a leg to stand on. Problem is, I don't have the money to go to court and defend it. And when they pop me, YouTube's going to take their fucking side. It's not the law necessarily on this copyright that's the problem. It's kind of the law regarding how these tech companies are allowed to act. But yeah, with copyright, I don't think Joker. A lot of the DC characters, the very old ones, have turned 80 here recently. Superman, Batman, Joker, I think Robin, even Wonder Woman, shit like that. I don't think in 20 years from now, DC Comics, whatever company owns it, Warner Bros. Owns it, whatever owns Warner at the time, I don't think they should just lose the rights to Superman because an arbitrary amount of time has passed. When the only reason you know what Superman is because of the work they've done over that 100 years to keep that character relevant. Do you know who Black Terror is or the Death-Defying Daredevil? Do you know who those characters are? Because they were characters that, back in the golden age of comics, were damn near just as popular. No, you don't know who they are because they just fell into... Because nobody cared, and they fell into public domain, and they're nothing now. Somebody says, hoping to get the 911 dispatcher job. Being unemployed is breaking my mind. Well, it sucks. I mean... Somebody says, hard work may suck, but it's rewarding when the payoff comes around. The first Mickey Mouse is public domain now. I don't think it should be. What, that Steamroller Mickey cartoon? I don't think that should be public domain. Certainly the character shouldn't. I don't even think it should. I don't even think that cartoon should. Now, I wouldn't be opposed, I had like a talk with a caller, Richard Bechtel, came on here, and we were talking about stuff. I wouldn't be opposed to some reforms to it. Like, if you sit on something for too long and you don't allow it to be available to the public, even, never mind doing more stuff with it, but if something becomes lost media because you don't allow it to be available to the public, I wouldn't be opposed to just, okay, well, people can go ahead and reprint it then, if you're not going to. If you're not going to let it stay in the public. And because you do end up with stuff where, like, multiple companies have claims to it and they fight. And, the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, for example, never got a proper DVD release. Like, there's a few DVDs that have, like, handfuls of episodes on it, but a proper, like, season by season or even the complete show on, like, one package kind of thing never got fucking released. Despite its immense popularity, because there's all sorts of bullshit rights issues. I think Saban was distributors, whatever. There's like companies that were distributing or something. There's a bunch of companies with their fucking fingers in the pot, and they're all arguing with each other. And that means that you, if you're interested in watching the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, can't go to the fucking store and buy it on DVD. Now, I have it on DVD. I have a bootleg DVD of it, and I don't feel bad about buying a bootleg DVD of it, because I'm not allowed to buy the regular DVD. So fuck it. It's one of the reasons I got into comics in the first place. Is that show. That show, the Batman cartoon in the 90s, and to a lesser extent than those two, the X-Men cartoons, are why I got into comics in the first place. Those things sparked my interest in superheroes in the first fucking place. So, this show means a lot to me. Somebody says SNES and NES games, for example. A lot of old video games, when it's like licensed games in particular, just never get re-released. Because, for example, let's say, let's take the Ninja Turtle stuff. Konami did a bunch of Ninja Turtles games. Turtles in Time, the arcade game, Turtle Stream, Manhattan Project, stuff like that. Turtles in Time for the Super Nintendo is fucking fantastic. It's actually better than the arcade version, in my humble opinion. It doesn't get a lot of re-releases. Because that game is, I guess, owned both by, right now, Viacom owns the Turtles, and also Konami. So it's like, they have to come together and like the captain and second in command both have to turn their keys in the fucking submarine to launch the nuclear missiles. It's one of those fucking deals. Another example, back in the 90s, Marvel and DC did a crossover storyline between their universes, and their universes were briefly merged into one universe, creating the Amalgam Universe, with characters that were combinations of a Marvel and a DC character with this own backstory and history and all to themselves. Those saw a handful of one-shots. No real merchandise. There were trading cards. There were Amalgam trading cards, oddly enough. It was the 90s after all. But, like, you can't buy, like, say, a Spider-Boy or a Dark Claw or a Super Soldier t-shirt. And you probably never will be able to. In fact, a lot of Marvel DC crossovers have fallen out of print. They don't get reprinted. Because those companies aren't getting along right now. That kind of thing, I think, well, maybe if you won't, maybe somebody else should be able to. If you've let something fall out of print for so long, maybe then the rights should be up to grabs. I wouldn't be opposed to something like that. But this idea that just copyright should expire after an X amount of time. Patents expire after an X amount of time because patents are inventions. And we've decided that, if you invent a new fucking thing, you should be able to enjoy the initial fruits of that. Because Lord knows how much money and time and effort you poured into the research and development of that thing. So you should initially be able to just reap the rewards. Rake in the dollars. But after a while, Okay, fine. Now this invention is up for grabs. Everybody can make it. That's fair. It's a little bit different than art, though. And yeah, you get into the fair use issues and stuff. People getting popped when content is clearly transformative or for review purposes or for parody purposes or whatever. Like, that's bullshit. So there's abuses in the copyright system. But by and large, I just reject the notion that, for example, Disney should just lose the rights to Mickey Mouse. Or, Warner Brothers should lose the rights to Superman here after an X amount of time has passed. It's stupid. Part of what passing these IPs on to corporations can do is it can actually keep them relevant and alive for decades and decades and decades. Jim Henson, before he died, wanted to sell the Muppets to Disney, specifically because he wanted them to be preserved and alive long after him. Now, you can argue how good of a job Disney did with it. Fine. I actually think they've done okay with the Muppets. They've shit up a lot. Lord knows they shit up Star Wars. But they've done okay with Muppets. In fact, the only thing that stopped him from doing that is he did not want... Disney wanted to buy up the Sesame Street characters, and he wanted them to stay the property of, I don't know, Children's Broadcasting Network, whatever it was. He just felt Sesame Street shouldn't be over-commercialized. It's this thing that should exist to help poor kids learn to read, because, their mom is too busy sucking dick for crack to teach them. Which, a noble goal, I suppose. Of course, now, Sesame Street ended up getting sold to HBO, and they are commercializing the fuck out of it. But the point is, he knew the best way to keep these things alive and relevant was to sell it to a company that could do that. And as long as a company is keeping those things at, let's say, in print, I'm okay with them holding on to the copyright. Well, Razorfist had a good video on this, and he used Wizard of Oz as an example. Wizard of Oz, I guess, went into public domain here recently. And, it's just been, butchered by every hack because they just have the rights to it now. It's not necessarily a good thing. But again, I'm sorry. Like, I know some of you Catholics out there might disagree with me, but I don't think the Catholic Church has ever been a friend of property rights. I don't think the Catholic Church has ever been a friend of rights as a concept. Somebody says there's a lot of dated characters that are still copyrighted that shouldn't be. Again, I don't know. If whatever company that owns them is keeping them out there for public consumption, then I'm okay with them being. But if they're just sitting on it, and let's say it's a movie and you can't even, it's out of print, regardless of what it is. If it's out of print, and they're just keeping it out of print, then fuck them. Let them lose it. If you're not going to let people get it, then fuck it. I say you should lose it. After X amount of... If you go... I'd even say 10 years. If you go 10 years with something going out of print, if it's out of print for 10 years, maybe you should lose it. Fuck it. So he says there's one right that Catholics love, the right to rule through obfuscation. Man, I can't talk. Yeah. But yes, that's correct, Chad. I actually, a buddy of mine, the amalgam character Spider-Boy, which is a combination of Spider-Man and Superboy, that's one of my buddy's favorite characters ever, because when he was first getting into comics, Spider-Man and Superboy were his two favorite characters. And I managed to find him a shirt on one of these. It wasn't ripped apparel, but it was one of those types of shirt or types of sites where, there's fan art on shirts. It's not officially licensed stuff. I managed to find a really good fan art of Spider-Boy on a shirt for him for Christmas. And again, you can't buy an officially licensed product of that character. You just can't. The only merchandise ever made was the trading card set for Amalgam. So he says the only problem is companies will bring back shit every 9 years just to keep the rights. I'm not saying you have to do new stuff with it, but just keep the let's take I don't know, what's a property? It's I don't know. Let's say the X-Files. That's just a show that popped into my mind. Say the X-Files. In order to keep the rights, I'm not saying you have to make a reboot version of the X-Files every 10 years, or you have to make new episodes of the X-Files, or just new X-Files content. I'm not even saying you have to make new content. I'm saying you have to make the existing content available. So, for example, does Fox own the X-Files? I guess Disney now, if Fox did. But if the X-Files on DVD has fallen out of print for over 10 years, and the only way you could find X-Files on DVD is you would go on Amazon and you'd see the scalper prices or something, then, I don't know, maybe some other company gets to print DVDs of them now. Fuck you. You lost it. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you gotta make new content. Because, I don't particularly want a franchise milked the fuck to death. Sometimes it's best to let something sit, at least for a while. Somebody says, for every serviceable adaptation of Alice in Wonderland, there are 100 Sonic shoes. Yeah, the public domain is a desolate fucking place creatively. I'm sorry to tell you. I mean, I'm not a big fan of what Hollywood's been doing lately, but public domain is not a much better place. It's a worse place. Let's be real. All in all, it's a worse place. So it says, I really don't understand the point of antitrust and monopoly law if Amazon and Disney are allowed to eat up everything. Yeah, I don't think they should. Enough's enough. And it's not just Amazon and Disney. Honestly, there's maybe a dozen companies that basically own every bit of media you could possibly consume, and that number's just a bit too fucking low. I mean, you see it all the time. Like, Ninja Turtles got bought up by Viacom, I guess about 10 years ago. Viacom, Nickelodeon specifically, which is owned by Viacom, recently bought up Garfield. And those can be good things. Viacom bought up Ninja Turtles, and they made that 2012 TMNT show, the CGI one, which is, by all accounts, very good. The little bits of it I've seen were very, very good. But then they went ahead and made Rise of the TMNT after that. So, the good and the bad, Somebody says, without public domain, to parody, Family Guy wouldn't have half of its episodes. I mean, Family Guy parodies a lot of copyrighted stuff. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Sometimes they have permission. More often than not, they don't. I mean, for like they had to have permission for the Star Wars things, for example, or the Cleveland show did a Die Hard one, but same parent company owned them, so getting permission wasn't too hard. But like for a full thing like that, I think they had to get permission. But for just like the references and bits of parody they do all the time, they don't fucking ask for shit. They don't have to. Parody is fair use. I got popped, by the way. The parody songs I did on here, like Jesus' Mom and All My Friends Are Pagans, and what was the other one? Oh, Cult of Harvest Bible. I say I did it. Luke fucking did it. Let's be real. I came up with that's the thing, man. Luke's not necessarily an idea man, but he's a guy that if you give an idea to, holy shit, can he cultivate it? Like, I mean, I just sort of suggested, like, one day, like, wouldn't it be funny to do a parody making fun of the Catholics worshiping Mary, where instead of Stacy's mom, it's Jesus' mom? Like, they're just obsessed with Jesus' mom. And next thing I know, like, 3 days later, Luke is, like, sending me, like, lyrics typed out. Like, you think these work? I'm like, holy shit, dude. But anyways, I got copyright struck on all those. Now, they didn't get it taken down, and I didn't get, like, a strike. I guess strike isn't the right word. But the money, the ad revenue off of them got either shared or taken from me in all those cases. And, I mean, the ad revenue I make on this channel, even at its height, is dick. I mean, I make... When all my videos were still listed, this channel made literally pennies a day in ad revenue. Like 3 or 4 cents. If I'm in the double digits, like 15, 16, 17 cents, that was a really good day. Super Chat's how I made money on here, so I didn't bother to fight it. But if those were videos that were getting millions and millions of views, then yeah, maybe I would have been inclined to take it to court, because that absolutely falls under fair use. Especially, by the way, I know the All My Friends Are Pagan ones. I did this. I think we did it for the Cult of Harvest Bible, but like for the Jesus' Mom one, we just found like karaoke tracks of Stacy's mom online, and then Luke sang over it. But I actually had musician buddies do the actual instrumentation for, I know the second one, the All My Friends Are Pagans. I think they did it for no, the third one he didn't do it because he said he wasn't quite comfortable doing that song. He thought he wasn't going to be able to do it justice. He wasn't going to be able to do Cult of Personality. But okay, the middle one. So the middle one is completely. I didn't take anything. It's obviously a parody of an existing melody, but it's wholly built from the ground up, and I still got popped on that one. Somebody said Luke's one creative dude. Again, Luke's not an idea guy, but you give him an idea, he will run with it. So he says Fox used to be the studio that distributed Star Wars before Disney bought it. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, you want to see a good example of copyright abuse. And this is, again, fair use not being respected, that sort of thing. So there's an episode of Family Guy where they're playing video games, and it's like some old NES games or something, and they actually took the game footage, they lifted it whole cloth, they just yanked it off of some guy's Let's Play channel. Which right away, they're in the wrong, right? But then, after that aired, some fucking bots or something then nailed the original videos, saying that was owned by Fox, because it was from a Family Guy episode. That's fun. That's beyond bullshit. But guess who YouTube's siding with, until it's proven otherwise? Until a big stink got raised about it. Yeah, that's right, chat. Luke's not the concept guy, but you give him a concept, he will run with it. I think those 3 videos are back unlisted. I think you can find them on the channel again. I'm slowly putting some of the stuff back unlisted. I'm not going to put all of it back unlisted. Pardon me. I know I sound gross. I got a snoot full. Like, I'm not going to put, like, the old Beckloff podcasts where it was, like, pre-recorded shit. And the audio had this fucking hiss in the background the whole time and shit. Like, I'm not putting that stuff. That stuff sucked. Not even just the audio content, but just, like, I'm not happy with that. I don't know. I guess by my own standards, I should lose the rights to them because I want them to not be available. How long have we been going on? A little over an hour. I might wrap this up. I mostly just felt like bitching about the lockdown, to be honest. Fuck the lockdown. I was going to maybe watch a Davis Arini stream. I don't know. I just don't have patience for it. I'm too cranky right now. And like every 10 seconds you got to... He's either going on about like nothing and there's nothing to say about it, or it's like every 10 seconds you have to unpack how many fucking things are wrong with it. So I don't have patience for it tonight. Not tonight, man. I'm fucking flipping off grocery store workers and shit right now. I just don't have patience anymore. Oh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Richard Bechtel, I see you wanted on the show. I might bring you in as a caller next time, but I just don't feel like getting into anything right now. All right, folks. If you enjoy the content, consider throwing a shekel or two over PayPal.me/theBeckloff. I don't think there's a link down below anymore. I don't know. Maybe I'll put one down there. I don't know, but would be greatly appreciated. And I don't know. Dashing Rogue will be doing something later tonight. I might hop on there if he's all right with it. We'll see. All right, that's about all I got for tonight, folks. Thank you all for listening. Beckloff.